What is up, everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. Generative AI, large language models, AI agents. If you've been on the internet literally at all lately, you are probably drowning in these buzzwords. I know, it sounds like straight-up sci-fi, but it's very real, and it's completely transforming how we interact with technology. Today, I'm going to be your personal tech guide. We're popping the hood, we're stripping away all that confusing jargon, and we're looking at the actual building blocks of Gen AI and agents. By the end of this, you won't just know the terms, you're going to understand exactly how they create some seriously mind-blowing software. So let's get into it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today's Explainer. 1. What is generative AI? 2. How language models work. 3. Big versus small models. 4. Enter the AI agent. 5. Inside an AI agent. And 6. Real-world AI scenarios.
Kicking things off with Section 1, what exactly is generative AI?
At its core, generative AI is a specific branch of artificial intelligence. Now, I think a lot of people picture some sort of sentient, sci-fi robot brain when they hear AI, but I really want you to think about this definition. It enables software applications to generate new content. That right there is the secret sauce. It isn't magic, guys. It's just advanced software specifically designed to create completely original outputs that literally did not exist a second before you asked for them.
And when we say content, we are talking about incredible versatility. Often this means natural language dialogues, pristine images, entire videos, and even complex computer code. Just to put that into perspective, imagine a computing history website. Instead of just reading static, boring articles, the site could use a generative AI chat interface. You could type in a super specific, obscure question about a historical tech event, and the AI would generate a completely original, interactive response just for you. It transforms learning from a one-way street into a dynamic, two-way conversation.
Moving right along to Section 2, how language models work.
The ability to generate all of this incredible content is based entirely on something called a language model. Think of a language model like a massive, supercharged engine that's been trained on staggering volumes of data. We're talking vast amounts of documents from the internet and tons of other public sources. But this massive engine just sits there idling until you give it a spark. And that spark, it's called a prompt. Prompts are just natural language statements or questions that you type in. When you give the language model a prompt, it uses that input to initiate the generation of a meaningful response.
And this brilliantly illustrates why this technology feels so incredibly revolutionary. The model isn't just searching a database and copying and pasting an answer like a traditional search engine. It encapsulates semantic relationships between language elements. I know, that's a fancy technical way of saying the model essentially knows how words relate to one another based on its massive training data. Because it actually understands these deep semantic connections, it can predict and generate a highly meaningful, completely original sequence of text, word by word.
Which brings us to a really fascinating question, and honestly, one that developers and tech giants are arguing about right now. Does size matter in AI? Do you always need the biggest, most data-hungry engine to get the job done?
Let's break that down in Section 3, big versus small models.
We generally break these engines down into two main categories, large language models, or LLMs, and small language models, which we call SLMs. The real difference comes down to the sheer volume of training data and the number of variables in the model. LLMs, well, they're the heavyweights. They are incredibly powerful. They generalize well across almost any topic you can throw at them, but they are very costly to train and use. They require massive data centers. On the flip side, we have SLMs. Small language models are way more focused on specific topic areas. Because they are smaller, they can be easily deployed locally, directly into apps and agents running right on your everyday devices. So, the absolutely crucial point here is choosing the right tool for the job. If you want a general-purpose Oracle, you use an LLM in a data center. If you want a fast, highly focused tool running right in the palm of your hand, you use an SLM.
All right, taking it to the next level with Section 4, enter the AI agent.
An AI agent is a software application built on top of generative AI, but it goes so much further than a simple chatbot. An agent can actually reason over information, it can automate tasks by actively using tools, and it can respond to contextual conditions to take the appropriate action all on its own. It literally brings reasoning and action together. An agent isn't just a text generator, it is a true digital assistant.
Let's pop the hood in Section 5, inside an AI agent.
While their capabilities can honestly seem like magic, the architecture is actually quite elegant. There are exactly three key elements that make up the anatomy of any AI agent.
Here is the blueprint. First up, the large language model. This is the agent's brain. It provides the core language understanding and reasoning capabilities we were just talking about. Second, the instructions. This is a system prompt that defines the agent's role and its behavior. Think of this as the agent's specific job description. And third, the tools. If the LLM is the brain, the tools are the hands. This is what actually allows the agent to reach out and interact with the digital world.
Let's look a little closer at those tools, because they fall into two distinct categories. First, you have knowledge tools. These give the agent access to outside information, like letting it browse a live search engine or query a private database, so it isn't just relying on its past training. And then you have action tools. This is where things get really cool, because this is where the agent does your actual work. Action tools allow the agent to send emails on your behalf, update your calendar, or even control your smart devices. So the brain reasons, the instructions focus it, and the action tools execute the task.
Bringing it all home now with Section 6, Real-World AI Scenarios.
The practical value here is just immense. Every single day, people and businesses are using generative AI and agents for things like creating conversational chatbots that actually understand context, implementing full AI assistants to automate mundane daily tasks, creating new documents, generating fresh content to completely overcome writer's block, performing real-time automated translations between languages, and instantly summarizing massive, complex documents that would take a human hours to read. Guys, this isn't the future. This is happening on laptops and phones everywhere today.
We've moved from basic software to reasoning, acting, digital assistants that can completely change your workflow. The technology is here, and it's totally accessible. So I want to leave you with this question. Knowing what you know now about how these agents reason and use tools, what everyday tasks are you going to hand off to your own digital assistant today? Think about the friction in your daily routine and just imagine having a tireless, intelligent agent ready to handle it for you. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Keep exploring, keep learning, and I will catch you in the next one.